Today I am going to discuss about joints. In the yesterday class, we had discussed about faults. What are faults? Faults are divisional planes along which displacement must be occurred. Here, joints are also divisional planes. Joints are cracks. Joints are fractures. Joints are divisional planes which are developed due to either compressional force or tensional force. There is no vertical displacement along divisional planes, along cracks. When there is no vertical displacement, then it is called by the name joints. Joints found in all kinds of rocks like igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. Joints do not occur alone. They commonly occur in groups and which are running parallel to each other. When joints occur in groups is called as joint set. Every set of joints, which means joint planes, shall have their own dip and strike. In some places, 2 or 3 or even more set of joints can be seen. Then they are referred as a set of joint system. Then they are referred to as a joint system. Like folds and faults, joints also have considerable range in their magnitude. Some are small in their size, only a few centimeters in length, but some others may be large, measuring many meters. Measuring many meters. Such joints called as, particularly which are measuring many meters, are called as master joints. In nature, joints may occur as vertical or even horizontal or even inclined. Naturally, the presence of joints divides the rock mass into a number of blocks. The interval between successive joint planes may differ from set to set or even in the same set. Sometimes the joints may be closely spaced and in other cases joints may be widely spaced. Joints are universal and open at the top surface and die out in the depth However, joints may be filled up with secondary minerals such as calcite, quartz, clay minerals, etc. Joints can be seen in all kinds of rocks: igneous, sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks. Joints are classified on the basis of attitude and genetic. Let us take one by one. On the basis of attitude, joints are classified into 3 types. Number 1, dip joints. Number 2, strike joints. Number 3, Number 3, oblique joints. Let us take one by one what is dip joints. What is dip? The maximum amount of inclination. In the yesterday class, we had also discussed about dip and strike. If the rock is in this direction, then the dip is 0. When it is inclined in this direction, then it is called by the name dip of the rock bed. For example, when joints are parallel to the dip direction, this is the dip direction. When joints are parallel to the dip direction, particularly of this rock bed, is called as dip joints. This is a strike direction. This is when joints are parallel. In this case, when the joints are appeared in this format, parallel to the strike direction. When the joints are parallel to the strike direction, then it is called by the name strike joints. Then oblique joints. What is oblique joints? When joints are neither parallel to the dip direction nor parallel to the strike direction, when it is taken into the direction between dip and strike direction in this format, then it is called as oblique joints. Very simple. If the joints are parallel to the dip direction of bed, then it is called as dip joints. What is a strike joints? If joints are parallel to the strike direction of beds, then it is called as strike joints. If the joints are neither parallel to the strike direction nor parallel to the dip direction of beds, then it is called by the name oblique joints in this direction. Very simple. Then the classification of joints based on genetic. In igneous rocks, in sedimentary rocks and metamorphic rocks, we are going to find joints. During the formation of rocks, in igneous rocks, some kinds of joints will be developed. Not only in igneous rocks, in sedimentary and metamorphic. In metamorphic rocks, for example, gneissic rock, the parental rock, from the igneous rock, the gneissic rock is formed. What kind of parental rock denotes? In igneous rock, that kind of joints can be seen when it is transformed into a newer rock, which is gneiss. Let us study one by one. In igneous rocks, sheet joints. What are sheet joints? What are sheet joints? Here, one set of horizontal joints can be seen. You see here, the joints are closely spaced. there is no much gap between the planes. Joints are here. Sheet joints are characterized by the development of closely spaced. There is no much gap. Closely spaced horizontal joints which divide the rock mass into thin sheets. Very simple. To obtain the slabs, we required these kinds of joints. We do not able to obtain slabs, particularly the rocks which has mural joints. Even crushed stones can be obtained from these kinds of joints. That's why sheet joints are more helpful to obtain slabs. The next one is columnar joints. Here we are going to find vertical joints. These kinds of joints are very typical in basalts and other volcanic rocks. It is also called by the name prismatic joints. It is characterized by the few sets of vertical joints. When the vertical set of joints intersect and divide the rock mass into a form of vertical columns, which leads to the development of trigonal, tetragonal, pentagonal, hexagonal, even septagonal, octagonal, etc. blocks. When a rock mass particularly traversed by vertical sets of joints, definitely we can able to obtain these kinds of joints. It is very familiar in basaltic rocks and volcanic rocks. The next one is mural joints. This kind of joints is very typical in plutonic and hyperbisaligneous rocks. Plutonics like granite. Here we are going to find three sets of joints. Two sets of joints are vertical in nature and other set is horizontal in nature. Horizontal joints, one set, This one is one set, this one is another set, two sets of vertical joints. See here, the red color is one set of vertical joints. Another yellow color is another set of vertical joints. This white color is another set of horizontal joints. This is the entire rock mass. This rock mass has been divided by two sets of vertical joints. One is red and another one is yellow. Another set of horizontal joints, which means mural joints are characterized by the two sets of vertical joints and one set of horizontal joints. They intersect and divide the rock mass into cuboidal blocks. This system, this mural joints system is very typical in igneous rocks like granites and some other hypabyssal rocks, plutonic igneous rocks and hypabyssal igneous rocks. Another one is in sedimentary rocks. In sedimentary rocks, we are going to find master joints. What are master joints? Master joints are very typical in sedimentary rocks like sandstones and limestones. Here also we are going to find three sets of joints. One set is coincides with the bedding planes or parallel to the bedding planes. Another two sets traverse across the beds. One set of horizontal joints, one set of horizontal joints, two sets of vertical joints. You see here, this is one set of horizontal joint. This is one set of horizontal joints, and these two are two sets of vertical joints. It is very typical in sandstones and limestones. Master joints, which means it consists of three sets of mutually perpendicular joints, of which one set is parallel to the bedding planes or sometimes coincides with the bedding planes. The other two sets, this one and this one, the other two sets traverse across the beds. Master joints dissect the rock mass into rectangular blocks. To obtain rectangular blocks, we require master joints. Next one is in metamorphic rocks. Though joints are found very commonly in metamorphic rocks. They do not have any definite patterns of occurrence in any specific kind of rocks. But metamorphic rocks are also heavily jointed. The coarse crystalline rocks like gneiss may have joints similar to their respective igneous equivalents, which means granite. The metamorphic rock quartzite may also have joints similar to their respective sedimentary equivalents, which means sandstone. Such a way, metamorphic rocks can also able to show different kinds of joints. Then the next one is engineering importance. Importance of joints. Importance of joints. When there is no joint system or joints, the rocks are massive. To obtain blocks or slabs, we have to invest more amount of money. When the rocks are having joint system, definitely with less amount we can able to obtain our required blocks or slabs. Joints break the continuity of the rocks and reduce their strength greatly. If there is no joints, the rocks denotes heavy strength. If the rocks are having joints, definitely that does not able to show strength greatly. The second one is joints influence quarrying and blasting pattern. The rock in which we are going to find joints, definitely through which we can able to quarry the rock and we can able to blast the rock. The next one is joints provide passages for the percolation of water and which helps weathering and formation of soil. Particularly when the rocks are having joints, definitely that receives the water. When the temperature falls down, the water freezes. The volume of water will be enhanced up to 10%. When volume of water enhances, when it is present in the cracks or divisional planes, definitely that increases the pressure on the either side of the wall. That leads to the disintegration of rock body. Such a way, the rocks get disintegrated into number of fragments. Joints render rocks weak and unstable. Joints denote rocky banks of rivers unfit for bridges and dams, even dams abutments, etc. Joints are helpful in exploration of water and locating well sites. If the terrain is composed of massive igneous rocks, when there is no cracks, when there is no fractures, when there is no divisional planes, when there is no flaws, definitely in that terrain we cannot able to seek the groundwater. When the area is heavily jointed, definitely when precipitation takes place on that particular terrain, that water gets entered into the joints through which percolation takes place, infiltration takes place, finally that water reaches into the aquifer. Such a way we can able to anticipate the groundwater on that particular terrain when the terrain is composed of number of joints. Joint spacing determine the size and shape of the blocks to be obtained in a quarry. In a different quarry, we are going to find different kinds of joint systems. When a quarry is having full of mural giants, we can't able to obtain slabs. When a rock is having columnar joints, in that also we cannot able to obtain slabs. The rocks in which we are going to find closely spaced joints, definitely in which we are unable to find the cuboidal blocks or rectangular blocks. That's why joints are very important to obtain our desired shape and size of the blocks. Sheet joints help obtaining crushed stones and slabs, crushed stones for concrete aggregates, road metals, etc. Joint planes are responsible for leakage of water in tunnels, reservoirs, dam abutments, and beneath dams in rocky gorges. That's why on any terrain, if we find joints or joint systems, definitely that has to be studied. If it is not treated well, definitely we cannot able to prevent the water. Once water starts to entering into that particular joints, definitely that makes widening of that particular joint, that may leads seepage of water towards the downstream area. That's why on which terrain we are going to construct the reservoir or dam, we have to ensure whether the terrain is composed of joints or not. If the terrain is composed of joints, definitely that terrain has to be rejected.